We often hear about the golden years. Don't we all? The relaxation, the freedom, the joy of retirement. And yes, there's immense beauty and wisdom that comes with every passing year. But what if I told you there are some uncomfortable truths about getting older that almost no one talks about, things that can sneak up on you, leave you feeling a bit bewildered, or even a little lonely, because you thought you were the only one experiencing them? It's like we're all part of this unspoken agreement not to mention the tougher sides of this journey. Maybe out of politeness, or perhaps because we don't want to face them ourselves. But ignoring these realities doesn't make them go away. In fact, it can make them feel even more overwhelming when they eventually arrive. It's a painful reality to discover these things on your own, feeling unprepared or isolated. My aim today isn't to scare you. Far from it. It's to empower you, to shine a light on these less talked about aspects of aging, so you can approach them with open eyes, armed with understanding and strategies. Because knowing what's coming, even if it's a bit harsh, allows you to prepare, adapt, and ultimately, live a fuller, more joyful life. No matter your age, in this video, we're going to explore 5 of these harsh truths, dissect them, and most importantly, talk about how you can not just cope, but truly thrive through them. So stick around. Because by the end, I think you'll discover something that might just surprise you. Let's dive straight into the first harsh truth. And this one often catches people off guard. It's the quiet, often unacknowledged truth of losing a degree of your physical independence. When we're younger, we rarely think twice about simple movements. Bending down to pick up something, reaching for a high shelf, walking a few blocks to the shops, or even just opening a stubborn jar. These are actions we perform effortlessly, almost unconsciously, as the years gently roll on. However, you might start noticing a subtle shift. That jar isn't as easy to open as it once was. Your knees might ache a little more after a long walk, or getting up from a low chair might require a bit more effort. Perhaps a slight groan you try to suppress. It's not about suddenly being unable to do things. It's about the gradual, almost imperceptible way that activities you once took for granted become a little more challenging, a little more thought-provoking. This isn't about being frail or incapable. It's about acknowledging the natural changes in our bodies. Muscles might lose some mass and strength. Joints might become less flexible. And your balance might not be quite as sharp as it used to be. For many, this can be incredibly frustrating. It can feel like a betrayal or a limitation that wasn't there before. You might find yourself saying, "I used to be able to do that easily." Or, "Why does this simple thing feel so much harder now?" This frustration can lead to a quiet sense of loss, or even a reluctance to try new things because you're worried you won't be able to keep up. You might start relying on others more, which, while sometimes necessary and beautiful in its own way, can chip away at that deeply held sense of self-sufficiency. But here's the empowering part: recognizing this truth allows you to be proactive, not reactive. It's about adapting, not giving up. Think about how you can support your body as it changes. Regular, gentle exercise isn't about becoming an athlete. It's about maintaining strength, flexibility, and balance to keep doing the things you love. Simple stretches every morning, walking around the block, chair yoga, or even just doing some gentle arm movements while you're watching television can make a significant difference. It's about consistency, not intensity. And it's okay to ask for help, or to use tools that make life easier. There's no shame in a jar opener, a grabber tool for things that fall on the floor, or rails in the bathroom. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of wisdom. They are smart adaptations that allow you to conserve energy for what truly matters and maintain your independence for longer. It's also about listening to your body more closely. Some days you'll feel fantastic and can tackle a little more. Other days, you might need to rest or choose a less demanding activity. Honoring those signals is crucial. This quiet shift in physical capability also opens up an opportunity to redefine what active means to you. It might mean swapping a long hike for a leisurely stroll in a park, or lifting heavy weights for resistance band exercises. The goal is movement, joyful movement that keeps your body and mind engaged, rather than pushing yourself to a point of pain or injury. It's a dance between acceptance and action, accepting that your body is changing, and taking action to support it in its new phase. It's about preserving your energy and your ability to enjoy life, rather than fighting against an inevitable tide. And by doing so, you can actually extend your years of vital, independent living. This gentle foresight can save you a lot of frustration and discomfort down the line, allowing you to move through your days with grace and continued capability. Now that we've acknowledged the shifting sands of physical independence, let's move on to the second harsh truth that often casts a long shadow over our later years. The second harsh truth, and perhaps one of the most emotionally challenging, is the undeniable reality of a shrinking social circle and the profound experience of loneliness. When we're younger, our lives are often bustling with connections, work colleagues, school friends, parents from our children's activities, neighbors, sports teams, social clubs. The opportunities for interaction seem endless. Our calendars are full. Our phones buzz with plans. But as we get older, this landscape inevitably changes. Colleagues retire and scatter, often moving away to be closer to family or for a quieter life. Friends, sadly, may pass on, leaving a void that no one else can truly fill. Family members might be busy with their own lives, jobs, and young children, making spontaneous get-togethers less frequent. The vibrant social tapestry you once had can begin to fray, leaving you with fewer threads of connection. This isn't anyone's fault, it's a natural, albeit painful, part of the aging process. You might find yourself with more free time, but fewer people to share it with. The phone might ring less often, and invitations might dwindle. This can lead to a pervasive sense of loneliness. Even if you're surrounded by family, it's a feeling that can creep up on you in quiet moments, making the evenings feel longer, or the weekends stretch out with an emptiness you hadn't anticipated. It's not just about having fewer people around. It's about the depth of connection. Losing long-standing friends means losing shared histories, inside jokes, and a unique understanding that only decades of friendship can forge. The challenge here is that admitting to loneliness can feel like admitting a failure, especially when society often portrays older age as a time of contented solitude. But loneliness isn't a failure. It's a human emotion, and a very common one in later life. The key is to acknowledge it without judgment, and then take proactive steps to nurture existing connections and forge new ones. This requires effort, often more effort than it did in your younger years. But the rewards are immeasurable. Think about reigniting dormant friendships. Have you lost touch with an old school friend, a former colleague, or a distant cousin? A simple phone call, a thoughtful letter, or an email can be the spark that rekindles a connection. You might be surprised how eager others are to reconnect too. People cherish the past, and you might find a mutual desire to reminisce and build new memories. Beyond revisiting the past, actively seek out new opportunities for connection in the present. This might feel daunting at first, especially if you're naturally introverted or haven't had to make new friends in a long time. But there are so many avenues waiting for you. Consider joining a local club or group based on your interests. Love reading. Find a book club at your local library. Enjoy gardening. Look for a community garden or a horticultural society. Are you passionate about a cause? Volunteer your time. It's a fantastic way to meet like-minded people while also giving back. Many community centers offer classes for older adults, from art and music to fitness and technology. These aren't just about learning a new skill. They're fertile ground for new friendships. Embrace technology. While it can sometimes feel overwhelming, Platforms like social media groups for specific hobbies or online communities can offer connections from the comfort of your home. Video calls with distant family members or friends can bridge the physical gap and make you feel closer. The internet can be a wonderful tool for overcoming geographical barriers to connection. Remember, building new connections takes time and patience. Not every new acquaintance will become a best friend, and that's perfectly normal. But every conversation, every shared laugh, every friendly face adds to your sense of belonging and helps to ward off that feeling of isolation. It's about being open, putting yourself out there a little, and understanding that you are worthy of connection and companionship at every stage of life. This proactive approach to social engagement isn't just about preventing loneliness. It's about enriching your life with new perspectives, new joys, and a continued sense of community. So, while your social circle might naturally thin out, you have the power to weave new threads and strengthen existing ones, creating a rich tapestry of relationships that continues to support and uplift you. Moving on from the challenging but manageable truth of a shrinking social circle, let's confront the third harsh reality that often goes unaddressed: the profound and sometimes disorienting shift in identity and purpose. For most of our lives, our identity is closely tied to our roles: parent, professional, spouse, caregiver, community leader, and so on. Our days are structured by responsibilities, deadlines, and the needs of others. There's a clear sense of what we do, who we are in relation to the world, and what our daily purpose entails. Then, gradually or abruptly, these roles begin to change. Children grow up and leave home, sometimes moving far away, lessening your role as a direct, daily caregiver. Careers come to an end, whether through retirement, redundancy, or a conscious decision to step away. This can be one of the most jarring transitions. For decades, your profession might have defined a significant part of who you were, providing structure, financial stability, intellectual stimulation, and a social network. When that's gone, you can wake up some mornings feeling adrift, asking yourself, who am I now without that title, without those responsibilities? This isn't just about having more free time. It's about a fundamental reevaluation of your self-worth and significance. Many people find themselves feeling a loss of relevance, a sense that their contributions are no longer needed or valued in the same way. The phone stops ringing with work queries, the calendar empties, and the familiar routines that anchored your days disappear. This void can be filled with a quiet unease, a lack of direction, or even a sense of being invisible to the wider world. It's a harsh truth because it strikes at the core of our being, challenging what we believed defined us for so long. However, this unsettling period of redefinition also presents an extraordinary opportunity for reinvention and rediscovery. It's a chance to shed expectations and explore aspects of yourself that were perhaps dormant or sidelined by the demands of your previous life. Think of it not as an ending, but as a spacious new chapter, a blank canvas waiting for you to paint your next masterpiece. The first step is to acknowledge the feelings of loss or disorientation without judgment. It's normal to grieve the past, even if it was a good past. Give yourself permission to feel those emotions. Then, gently begin to explore what truly ignites your curiosity and passion now that you have the time and freedom. What were those hobbies or interests you always wanted to pursue but never had the chance? Learning a new language, taking up painting, trying a musical instrument, delving into local history, or perhaps finally writing that book you always dreamed of. This is your time to nurture those seeds of interest. Consider finding new avenues for contribution and purpose. This doesn't have to be a formal job. It could be volunteering for a cause you deeply care about, sharing your wisdom and experience by mentoring younger people, or becoming more actively involved in your community or a local charity. Giving back provides an immense sense of purpose and connection, reminding you of your continued value and impact in the world. Many organizations desperately need the wisdom, reliability, and life experience that older adults bring. You might also find purpose in deepening your relationships with family, particularly grandchildren, or focusing on personal growth. Perhaps this is the time to truly commit to mindfulness, meditation, or exploring spiritual paths. These internal journeys can provide a profound sense of peace and meaning that no external role ever could. This phase of life allows for a shift from doing to being. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in the present moment, in the simple pleasures, and in the richness of your inner life. It's about cultivating a strong sense of self that isn't dependent on external validation or traditional societal roles. Embracing this harsh truth about identity shift means actively constructing a meaningful and purposeful next chapter. One that is truly authentic to who you are now, not who you once were. It's a journey of self-discovery, allowing you to flourish in ways you never imagined possible, creating a life rich in personal significance and renewed zest. And now, for the fourth harsh truth that many of us face. Often with a knot of worry in our stomachs, the uncomfortable reality of increasing financial anxieties. Even for those who planned meticulously, for much of our working lives, we're focused on earning, saving, and perhaps paying off a mortgage or raising a family. There's a clear income stream, and even if it feels tight at times, there's a sense of a predictable flow. But as we get older, especially in retirement, that income stream either stops or significantly reduces, replaced by pensions, savings, or government benefits. And suddenly, the landscape shifts. You might have done everything right, saved diligently, invested wisely, paid off your home. Yet, you might still find yourself looking at the numbers with a new kind of trepidation. Why? Because the cost of living seems to relentlessly march upwards. Groceries cost more, utilities climb higher, and unexpected expenses, often related to health or home repairs, can pop up out of nowhere, threatening to derail even the best-laid plans. Prescription medications, specialist appointments, mobility aids, or home modifications can become significant and unforeseen drains on your resources. These are costs that weren't a major concern in your younger years. Or at least, you had a steady paycheck to cover them. This creates a silent, gnawing anxiety for many older adults. The fear of outliving your savings, of becoming a burden to your children, or of not being able to afford the care you might eventually need. It's a harsh truth because it can erode the peace of mind you worked so hard to achieve, turning what should be a time of relaxation into a period of quiet worry about every penny. It's not just about wealth. It's about security and the dignity of being able to manage your own life without constant financial stress. But acknowledging this truth empowers you to confront it head-on, not with fear, but with strategic planning and a shift in perspective. The first step is to gain absolute clarity about your financial situation. This might involve sitting down with your bank statements, pension documents, and bills, perhaps with a trusted family member or a financial advisor. Understand exactly what your fixed income is, what your regular expenses are, and what discretionary funds you have. Knowledge is power, and clarity reduces anxiety. Once you have a clear picture, explore ways to optimize your resources. This might mean reviewing your budget with a fine-tooth comb. Are there subscriptions you no longer use? Can you find better deals on insurance or utilities? Could downsizing your home be a possibility if it frees up capital and reduces ongoing costs? It's not about deprivation, but about smart, conscious choices that align with your current income and priorities. Consider exploring all available benefits and entitlements. Many countries have government programs designed to support older adults with housing costs, energy bills, prescription costs, or other needs that often go unclaimed simply because people aren't aware of them or don't know how to apply. Your local council or community advice center can be excellent resources for this. Don't be afraid or ashamed to ask. These programs exist to help. Think about alternative income streams. If you're able and willing, This doesn't mean returning to a full-time job, but perhaps a few hours of part-time work that aligns with your interests, consulting, tutoring, pet sitting, or even turning a hobby into a small income. The gig economy isn't just for young people. It offers flexible opportunities that can supplement your income without being overly demanding. Finally, and crucially, cultivate contentment beyond material wealth. This isn't to say money isn't important, but rather that true happiness in older age often comes from experiences, relationships, and simple pleasures, not just from accumulating more things. Finding joy in a walk in the park, a good book, time with loved ones, or a simple home-cooked meal can significantly reduce the pressure to spend money on external sources of happiness. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating, reminding you that security is not solely about the size of your bank account, but about your ability to adapt, manage, and find richness in your life regardless of financial fluctuations. By facing this harsh truth with practicality and a positive mindset, you can navigate your later years with greater peace and confidence, ensuring your golden years are truly golden, not just financially, but in spirit. Now, let's move to the fifth and perhaps the most profound harsh truth, the one that often lingers unspoken in the back of our minds, the inescapable reality of facing our own mortality and the increasing awareness of time's finite nature. When we're young, death feels like an abstract concept, something that happens to other people, far off in the distant future. We live with a sense of limitless time, filling our days with plans, aspirations, and an unspoken assumption that there will always be a tomorrow. But as the years accumulate, and especially as we witness more friends, family members, and peers pass away, this truth becomes undeniably more present. The reminders are everywhere. Milestone birthdays, a growing list of obituaries, or perhaps a health scare of your own or someone close to you. This isn't about morbid fascination. It's about a dawning realization that the clock is indeed ticking, and the time we have left is no longer an infinite expanse, but a precious, finite gift. This can be a harsh truth because it forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about our legacy, our regrets, and what truly matters in the time we have left. It can bring a quiet melancholy, a sense of urgency, or even fear. It can make you question whether you've lived fully enough, or whether you've made the most of the opportunities presented to you. But here's the unexpected beauty of this harsh truth. It can be the most powerful catalyst for living your absolute best life. Right now, far from being depressing. Acknowledging our mortality can be incredibly liberating and clarifying. It strips away the trivial, the petty, and the things that don't truly matter, leaving only what is truly significant. This realization invites you to live with greater intention and presence. Instead of deferring joy or putting off dreams until someday, it prompts you to embrace today. What are those experiences you've always wanted to have? Is it a trip you've dreamed of, a skill you've longed to learn, or a person you want to reconnect with? The awareness of finite time encourages you to act on these desires now, not later. It also fosters a deeper appreciation for the simple, everyday moments that often go unnoticed. The warmth of a cup of tea, the laughter of a grandchild, a conversation with a dear friend, the beauty of a sunset. These moments become infused with greater meaning when you realize how precious each one is. It cultivates gratitude for the present, rather than dwelling on the past or worrying excessively about the future. Furthermore, facing mortality can inspire you to mend fences, forgive past grievances, and deepen your most important relationships. There's a newfound clarity that life is too short for holding on to grudges or leaving important words unsaid. It encourages open hearts and honest communication, strengthening the bonds that truly matter. For many, this period also brings a renewed interest in spirituality or finding deeper meaning in life. It's a time for reflection, for understanding your values, and for making peace with your past. It's about cultivating inner peace, accepting what cannot be changed, and finding serenity in the journey of life itself. Legacy, in this context, isn't just about what you leave behind in terms of possessions, but the impact you've had on others, the wisdom you've shared, and the love you've given. So, while the truth of mortality can feel daunting, it also holds the incredible power to unlock a profound sense of purpose and urgency to live fully, without regret. It's an invitation to embrace life with open arms, to cherish every moment, and to focus on what truly brings you joy, meaning, and connection. It's about shifting from fearing the end to passionately embracing the present, ensuring that every day you live is lived with intention, love, and a deep appreciation for the incredible gift of life itself. This ultimate harsh truth can, paradoxically, be the very thing that helps you live your most vibrant and meaningful life yet. We've journeyed through these 5 harsh truths about getting older: the quiet shift in physical independence, the shrinking social circles, the profound identity shifts, the persistent financial anxieties, and finally, the undeniable reality of facing our own mortality. At first glance, these might seem like a heavy burden, things to dread or avoid thinking about. But as we've discussed, each one of these truths, when acknowledged and understood, transforms from a potential source of despair into a powerful opportunity for growth, adaptation, and profound fulfillment. Remember, the goal isn't to pretend these challenges don't exist. It's to shine a light on them, to equip ourselves with the understanding and tools to navigate them with grace and resilience. Small changes in how we approach our physical well-being, how we actively nurture our connections, how we redefine our purpose, how we manage our finances, and how we embrace the finite nature of time can make a monumental difference to our health, our happiness, and our overall quality of life. You are not alone in experiencing these truths, and you are far from helpless. You possess immense wisdom, experience, and an incredible capacity for adaptation. I genuinely hope that uncovering these unspoken realities has left you feeling not disheartened, but empowered and ready to approach this incredible chapter of your life with newfound clarity and confidence. Your journey is unique, but the challenges, and more importantly, the triumphs, are often universal. I'd love to hear from you. Have you experienced any of these harsh truths in your own life? What strategies have you found most helpful in navigating them? Share your thoughts, your wisdom, and your experiences in the comments below. Your insights could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you found this conversation helpful, if it sparked something in you, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who might benefit from these discussions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more honest, encouraging conversations about living your best life at every age. Thank you for spending this time with me. Live your best life. Embrace every moment, and remember, every single year brings new opportunities for joy and meaning.